Good evening. Welcome to our special commission meeting, May 17, 2023. The time is now 5:43. Madam Clerk, roll call.
Commissioner Bass. Here. Vice Mayor Irvin.
Here.
Commissioner Kelly.
Present.
Commissioner Williams.
I'm here.
Mayor Taylor.
Here. Can we stand for our invocation?
Father, we thank you once more for being in this place. But we ask you, Lord God, that you would grant us unity, Father God, most of all. Grant us, oh God, a heart to serve. Lord, grant us to be whom you have called us to be, servants, oh God, that represent you and not just you, our city. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Pledge of allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We're getting ready to now go into our public input. Public input is open. Public input is closed. Madam Attorney?
A resolution of the City Commission of the City of Opa-locka, Florida, approving and adopting the city manager solicitation package attached here too, providing for a corporation of recitals, providing for an effective date. This is sponsored by the City Commission.
Okay. Well, we know that this packet is here before us, so I know we had to make some edits. Can I get a motion to move it first? Move it.
Move it.
Moved by Commissioner Williams,
Second.
second by Vice Mayor. Madam Clerk, the edits that we were to make was about the salary and it was one more.
Let me just get that page number for you all really quick. So the edits is page 18 of 72. And it's for the years of experience and also for the salary range. And just for the record, Mr. Mayor, before you all, it's not included in the packet, but I did provide some information from the Florida League of Cities. I think at the last workshop last week, Wednesday, it was brought up in terms of the salary range for city managers. So they did provide the salary data for municipalities in the Southeast region with populations between 12 and 33,000. And that's before you all. Also, I did work with Commissioner Kelly on coming up with a proposed search process and timeline. You should have that before you all as well. I met with I either spoke to each member of the city commission individually or met with them with regards to the city administrator evaluation form, which is for the city manager. And the document that you have in the package is the original document that our office worked with Commissioner Williams, I think in 2021. Now, there were some recommended edits to that document, which I did provide and I have highlighted, and it should be before you all as well.
Okay, that's for the next item, right? Yes. Okay. All right, so we can open up discussion on this item. For the years of service and the salary that we want to input in those two blank sections.
Mr. Mayor,
Commissioner Kelly?
thank you. In terms of the at least 3 to 5 years of experience. And also on the salary range of 165 to get my notes. $165 to 195.
Okay. All right, so Commissioner Kelly is, as far as the years, I have 3 to 5 years. 3 to 5 years, and the salary, you said 165. 165 to 195. All right. Anyone else?
Yes,
Commissioner Williams?
so in my looking at some of the qualifications and reading up, what I did notice is generally, well, some cities, not all, had a 5-year experience. I'm not sure if, so typically 3 years. I guess it does keep a window open. It seems a little low, but in terms of what you can do and what you've experienced, bringing that into the city. Typically, someone could be out of college and be a city manager in 3 years. But I mean, I'm okay with 3 to 5, but for me, 5 years experience was where I wanted to start. And for this salary range, I actually had 175 because the cost of living and everything, 175. Now, I didn't have a range. It was a starting salary of 175. It wasn't a range.
Okay. All right, so I have you at 175 start with just a starting range. And then for the years, you want to start at 5 years, or you good with the 3 to 5?
I mean, I'm good with 3 to 5. It's just 3 seems rather low in our city. You need someone with some major experience to deal with what we need to tackle. And 3 years just seem rather low to me. You're still in the learning and beginning stages for 3 years. That's my opinion.
Okay.
Mr. Mayor,
Commi-
just for being able to put it out, you all may want to start with a number, whatever that number is, because if you say 3 to 5, people are going to interpret it as somebody with experience between 3 and 5 years, as opposed to over whatever amount you're looking for. If you follow me.
Mr. Mayor,
Commissioner Kelly?
thank you. I could support at least 5 years. I just used 3 to 5, I said at least. But I agree with my colleague in terms of experience. I can use 5 years. I do want to ask a question. So I have no problem with the 5 years. That's a great point. I only put in ending amount because it says salary range. And I know a lot of times that's sometimes negotiable with whatever candidate. And that's why I kind of interpreted that would be probably a negotiating point to start at whatever and going to a high number. I can understand where my colleagues come from with the 175 because I didn't have a chance to really look at all these ranges that I'm looking at now. And a lot of them are in the comparison of the numbers. And I want to thank the clerk for getting that to us because I hadn't been able to pull that as of yet. But that's why I did a range in terms of that salary. But I can go with either one.
Okay,
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
yes, sir. Commissioner Bass?
Thank you. I agree with the 3 to 5, and I said that because we know experience comes with time, but some of our city managers across the nation has experience in 2 years, what some probably has experience in 5, 6, 7 years. So I'm good with a 3 to 5. And I agree with the 75,000 start, 175 to start.
175 to start. Okay, Vice Mayor?
Thank you. Yes, we have a lot of work in our city. So I do like the 3 to 5 years experience too, because in my case, I think I can learn a lot in 3 years. And I do like the 175 start, and if we have to put an end to it, I would say we end at 200 because we're gonna work, it's a lot of work here. Just from what I'm seeing, it's a lot of work involved with being a city manager.
Okay, and I'm in agreement with, well, I can go either way, so 3 to 5 or 5 years, and the 175 as a starting, I don't have a problem with that. All right,
Mr. Mayor,
sorry,
I'm gonna attempt one more time.
go ahead.
It's a blank for you to choose at least one, whether it's 3 or at least 5. But if you put from 3 to 5, you're going to be saying to the rural, you want your applicants to have 3 to 5 years experience. When I think what you mean is a minimum of, that's,
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Yeah,
That's what, yeah,
Okay.
that's what I was saying, is you
Okay.
need a date, you need a minimum, yes.
because
a
Okay.
minimum.
you all aren't
Whether
saying the
you-
same thing Commissioner Williams is saying.
Yeah, you need a number. If it's 3, then it's 3, minimum of 3 years up to, but not, because then they'll go, yeah.
Right.
So
Okay,
the minimum number will be 5 years, is that what we're saying?
yes,
Okay, so,
Oh, I
wait,
think,
I'm sorry.
I think the consensus was 3,
okay, so 3.
yeah.
So
I
at
think-
least 3 years of experience, and then as far as the starting salary, well, the salary range for the position is 170, 175 is what's the consensus,
200.
175 to 200?
Yes.
Okay. All right, is that okay with everybody?
Yes.
All right, so Madam Clerk. The ideal candidate will have at least 3 years of experience. We're gonna add 3 there, and then the salary range for the position is 175,000 to 200,000.
Got it, Mr. Mayor.
All right. So other than that, are we good on I know this, we're not voting on this, but we're good on the timeline that was worked on? It is the same that we worked on. It's actually good.
I'm good with
We
it.
worked on it with it.
Yes.
This is the one we did last commission meeting. So,
I'm
we're-
good with, I'm sorry, Mr. Mayor, I'm good with it because I know it's fluid. And as long as it stays fluid, then, and we're gonna be able to revisit, since if this is the same one, not if, but this is, then I'm definitely good with this
Okay.
timeline.
Commissioner Bass? Yes, I'm saying yes too, Vice Mayor,
Yes.
to the timeline, and Commissioner Kelly, the timeline good, right? Sir?
yes, sir, I'm good.
I know
with
you
it.
worked on that, Just for the record.
Yeah, for the record.
For the record.
Yes, we did. Thank
All
you.
right, Madam Clerk, we can call the question if there is no more. Go
It
ahead.
is, I'm so sorry. Real quick. I saw something on the timeline, says search committee reviews. I thought the search committee was us.
We are the search
It is.
committee.
So do we don't want to say commission, or we're calling ourselves the search committee?
I think we're, because he
Oh,
said
okay, okay.
recommendation of top 3 candidates will take place at a special commission meeting to be scheduled July 17th. So I
Okay.
was assuming that we were
Okay.
calling ourselves the search committee.
I didn't, yeah, I guess I got caught up in, verbiage. Okay.
All right. All right, any other concerns? All right, so we can call the question, Madam Clerk.
Vice Mayor Irvin,
Yes.
Commissioner Kelly,
Yes,
Commissioner Williams.
Yes.
Commissioner Bass.
Yes.
Mayor Taylor.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
All right, Madam Attorney, 6-2.
A resolution of the City Commission of the City of Opa-locka, Florida, approving and adopting the evaluation tool for charter positions of the city attached here too, providing for incorporation of recitals, providing for an effective date. This is sponsored by the City Commission.
Can I get a motion?
Move it.
Move by Commissioner Williams, second by Vice Mayor.
No, that was.
Oh, Commissioner Bass, I'm sorry. So Williams and Bass. All right, so again, this is the evaluation tool for our charter offices. Madam Clerk stated that she provided the updated evaluation form that she added everybody's input on. This document here. And the one that's inside of the packet is the one that she worked on with Commissioner Williams, she said also. And you didn't add the one that you did, right? Just the one Commissioner Williams did?
Yeah, I just included the one from that I worked with Commissioner Williams
Okay,
on in 2021.
okay, and what was edited, this is the, okay,
Correct.
got it. All right, so any concerns on this document? You want to
Mr.
add, subtract,
Mr. Mayor,
Commissioner Kelly?
thank you. I wanted to see the other one that was done and looking at it, I gave my, I guess, tweaks or concerns to the clerk in terms of the wording, but I like the one that does gives the ratings. I guess the one y'all had worked on before, as opposed to the one that's in the package that leaves it kind of in my opinion, open-ended. So I would hope we would consider the one before us. I guess it's got the yellow thing on it, because I had asked that the information on what is required or what we're looking for as a part of these categories we put at top. So in evaluating, we would know, or whoever would know, that would be sitting here when it's time to evaluate what it would entail. So I see that's there, and also the comments at the bottom, and also the ending comments for the highlights and concerns and expectations going forward. So I thank the clerk for putting those in there for our consideration. But that was my recommendation would be with the one that we have got today or got sent to us. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Okay,
Mr.
And-
Mayor.
go ahead, Commissioner Williams.
So I know Ms. Flores put it in the email. I'll just say it again on record. Just so this one, the one that was provided in 2021, I think we said, yeah, I can't remember, seemed like 2021, this one is PDF fillable. So when you see the ratings of 5, you actually can click on and put your own rating. And then, of course, at that time, really wanted to make sure that the city goes digital and less paper. So that the overall rating actually calculates itself on this form. And so it makes life a little bit more easier in terms of the calculations. And then I definitely like the addition to the specifics of each category, that right there. And with that, in agreement with, as well as the 3 additions within the additional comment section.
Okay. All right, and thank you for adding additions. That's what I wanted as well. So perfect on that one. We're on the same page. Commissioner Bass, you good? You good? Braxton, you good? All right, so, and the other 2 evaluation forms for the city clerk as well as the city attorney.
Mr. Mayor?
Commissioner Kelly?
I wanted to ask a question, maybe it was passed before I got back. When or if it has been decided, when do the evaluations actually take place? Did you all pass a certain
We did,
time
and that's
every
what I
year?
was gonna ask to do a amendment on this.
Yeah, I mean, for all of them, all of the ones that we're doing, but I didn't know if it was already a set time that the evaluation take place, or
It's not a set time. I wanted to decide that today.
maybe on the higher date, like most employers. Maybe I'd ask that question to the manager via HR if they're here. Most evaluations take place from your higher date, year later. Here in the city.
To Commissioner Kelly, through the mayor, we do a 90-day evaluation, and then we do quarterly evaluations. We're moving to quarterly evaluations. Right now, we just started a system of evaluations last year, and we're moving toward a quarterly evaluation. Right now, we do an annual and a semi-annual.
A quarterly evaluation? Okay, I'm interested in the one that's tied to money. Quarterly probably is performance, but normally you get an annual evaluation most jobs. So right now we have a quarterly one, and what's the other one? I didn't hear it.
The one that's tied to money would be the annual, as you stated.
Okay, well, that's the one I'm talking about, whenever it's gonna be, needs to be an annual, but it's set, so whether we're here, whoever's sitting here knows the annual evaluation comes up whenever it does. So we need to decide if we don't have a date of when that is. I would suggest that when you fill the position, that becomes the date, but it's really up to the board. We need to have a date for all the evaluations. So we don't have one. At some point, Mr. Mayor, I guess you can entertain that, or I'll proffer a motion or something at the moment, at the appropriate time, when you finish your discussion.
Okay, I hear exactly what you're saying, Commissioner Kelly, and I agree, but I think it should be generic and at the same time. And I believe it should be right before the budget. So if we're going to tie a dollar amount to say we want to give them a raise for the evaluation, then we know that the budget is coming up, so we add it into the budget. So, and I know we're getting ready to go on the budget talk now, so I was thinking maybe June or July every year, annually.
So then, Mr. Mayor, so then you would be looking, because I know the budget process really probably starting now, but I think you get into the nuts and bolts by June, I would assume.
Correct.
So then you would be looking at May, because you want to, if you're going to do something with increases or whatever, that'd be part of budget. So maybe you're saying annual review in May or the latest June 1st or something.
The reason I said June, because we're already in May. So if we wanted to start this process now, then it would need to be in June. But I don't have a problem with June 1st.
I mean, June is fine with me. I will hear from my colleagues. I know I don't deal with personnel too much, so I'll defer.
Mr. Mayor, I was gonna say,
You go first.
Mr. Mayor,
Oh, go ahead.
can we ask staff like what they think the city manager, like what would probably work for them? Or
But this is their evaluation.
This is on the evaluation.
This is on their evaluation.
just them?
Yeah,
Okay,
it's not about, we're not doing,
Yeah,
it's
that's
not,
why I
there's
put
nothing to do with
HR.
staff.
okay.
This their evaluation. The commission evaluating them.
So, Mr. Mayor,
Commissioner Williams?
so since this is what I'm doing right now at work,
Me too, that's why I think.
a whole lot of them too, a whole lot of evaluations. So I think we have two things we can look at. We can look at calendar year, January to January, or we can look at a year in terms of, I would prefer that we have a start date, we say May 1st to June 1st or something like that, like within this window. I know for administrators, we have a window timeline that we have to complete evaluations and within the system, evaluation system. And so if we have a window, we give ourselves a May 1st to June 1st window that evaluation is done. And we don't surpass that, like after that, your evaluation, you're locked out. You can't, get that evaluation done. So, or if you want to tie it to the city's calendar in terms of January to January, I guess it just depends on, is that the city? No, October. Yes, you're right. So I kind of like a end of year thing, like a May to June. But again, my brain is always in the school calendar. It's not like, but it's up to everyone. But I think personally, if we know we're out summer, August, we're out. So that does give us time to rebuild, to have conversations with the manager, have feedback conversations so that when we come back in September, we're out in August, correct? So when we come back in September, then we can reboot if there were some good, bad, or indifferent type of feedback or evaluations that need to be fixed. It does give us that summer to work individually with the manager to do a hard reset so that we come back in September. And so I'm kind of suggesting a May 1st to June 1st type timeline.
You're on the same page.
Yeah.
Anybody else? Commissioner Kelly said May. So, and I said June, so we can do May 1st to June 1st. That gives us, well, Yeah, that gives us time. Anybody else? On this? All right, so Madam Attorney, if we want to make an amendment to this to add a date by which we will process the evaluation.
Um. this one. It's not included in the legislation, so if you're. What?
It's not included.
But it's not included. The date, he's saying we want to make a name. No, it's not included in the.
It's
leg-
not, so we want.
Yeah, so if you wanted to vote on, I know there's a separate handout dealing with the and I guess that's for something
There's
else.
two things that we want to do.
And you
One
can
is
add
we
it
want to
to.
adopt this
Mhm.
evaluation
Mhm,
and instead of the one that's provided in the packet.
mhm.
And also to add the date to them to be evaluated between, you said May 1st and June 1st, and Commissioner Kelly, you was good with May 1st, between May 1st and June 1st.
We can just add between May 1st, because right now it's not addressed. So
No, it's
between,
not. That's what we
between
do.
May 1st
Amendment.
and June 1st, and then we can call Exhibit A what you actually want to adopt, and then make that the exhibit, attach that to the resolution, and that will be what you're approving.
Okay. All right, is everybody okay with that?
Mhm.
All right, so do we need to vote on the amendment, Madam Attorney?
Yes, you would vote on the amendment first.
Okay, so
Mayor,
Commissioner Kelly?
I move the amendment, that the evaluation take place between May and June 1st of each year. And also, as we're adopting this document, as we've all agreed to.
Okay. So there's a motion on the floor. Can I entertain a second?
Second,
All right, so it was motion and second. Madam Clerk?
Commissioner Williams,
yes.
Commissioner Bass,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Irvin,
Yes.
Commissioner Kelly,
Yes.
Mayor Taylor.
Yes.
Motion passes on the amendment.
All right, so if no other discussion on the evaluation tools, we can go ahead and call the question. Any other discussion or we're good?
We're good.
We're good? Okay, Madam Clerk?
Commissioner Kelly,
Yes.
Commissioner Williams.
Yes.
Commissioner Bass.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Irvin,
Yes.
Mayor Taylor.
Yes,
Motion passes 5-0.
all righty. Madam Attorney, 6-3.
A resolution of the City Commission of the City of Opa-locka, Florida, approving the annual scholarship policy and application, providing for incorporation of recitals, providing for an effective date. This is sponsored by the interim city manager.
Can I get a motion?
Move it. Second.
It's fine.
I think it was Williams and Bass, but then I
That was-
Vice Mayor.
That's fine.
So Williams and Vice Mayor.
It's fine.
You can say anything?
It's fine.
Oh, Bass and Vice Mayor, I'm sorry. All right, Mr. Manager.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So we're very excited to get this program underway and bring it back to you for approval. You all should have received the item for your review and feedback, and we're ready to move this item forward.
All right, any discussion on this item?
Mr. Mayor,
Commissioner, I'm sorry, Vice Mayor?
it's okay. I happened to sit on the board that did this 1 year. I think it might have been our first year that we did send the money to the college, and it took our recipient Antoinette, oh my God, almost a whole year to get her money. I don't know what we can do speed up that process, but it took her forever to get her money.
Okay.
Mr. Mayor, real quick, I don't know, and that tends to happen. I wanted to, oh,
Go ahead.
yeah, I was wondering because that I heard that happen to FAMU, I believe she went to. So what the question is, and I'm not sure if Mr. Manager, can the city write a check to the scholarship winner and then wait for the funds back from the state? Is that something that we can do?
That would be something we'd have to look at the regulations covering that, and I would defer to the city attorney on that question.
Yeah, that's really under your financial controls. So you should have financial controls that you have within the city, and it talks about how you get reimbursed and how you can pay things. And so those are really whatever, maybe your finance director knows. I wouldn't know that right off the top of my head. That's how you process things based on your policies and procedures for your financial controls.
Well, through the mayor to Commissioner Williams, if there's no legal barrier to it, absolutely, we can put some things in place to pay the student directly.
I think that answers your question, Vice Mayor.
No, but it's still, to Vice Mayor's question, it still be a moment. Only because once they write the check, it has to go to the state for approval. I don't know about it took a year, but it still would have to go to the state for
It was
approval.
about a year.
No, but that's what I'm
after they
saying,
got
to
money.
bypass that. I'm trying to bypass the,
Not the state.
yeah, but what I'm saying is draw the funds out, sit it in a coffer, sit it somewhere so that the city can be able to send that $1,000 straight to the, that's what I'm trying to see is that.
Oh, she said
if that
and then
happened,
approve it, ask the state to
yeah,
approve the $5,000
yes, in advance,
And then, okay.
have it sit there and then be able to pay
I
directly
get
to,
what you're saying.
right,
Because
to the
if that
college.
student, if that
Okay,
student,
okay, I misunderstood.
Go ahead, I'm
if
sorry, Vice Mayor.
everything is all paid for, the school is gonna just send the money to the kid anyway. So if everything is already paid for, but
What do you-
Mr.
Wait, what do you mean?
Mayor,
Commissioner Kelly?
go ahead.
to my colleagues, I'm not a fan of giving the students the money. I think it needs to go to the institution.
Yeah, they're gonna,
If we need to deal with our internal controls and or with the state approving, let's do that. And that might need to take place in terms of the timelines that we have. But I think we need to send the money to the school, and looking at the application and the process that we have here. Excuse me, we need to tweak the timing of getting it back so that we can process it, or we know how much time the state is going to take to process it. We need to look at that. I don't think they're gonna hold that up, but I think we need to tweak that. So yeah, don't get that check to the kid.
Mr. Mayor, Mr. Mayor, my daughter was a recipient of over 15 scholarships when she graduated. Because one of her scholarships, she won from, I think they call it Fed now. It gave her a 4-year scholarship, educational scholarship at Florida State. Some of the checks came directly to her in her name, but the ones that they sent to Florida State, because she had a zero balance, that money still was given back to her. When other kids got their financial aid checks, she received that same money right back in her pocket because she didn't owe the school anything.
Mr. Mayor, let me piggyback. That is true. If a student receives a 4-year scholarship, and it could be anything, a posse scholarship, there's so many others, that institution will give the student a check back of what the overage, whatever their overage is. So that overage can be, I've seen $5,000 checks or $10,000 checks because some students end up, having $1 million scholarships. So that Commissioner Kelly is a thing for a fact. But I don't think any of us are saying to directly put money in the student's hand. I would never do that. All money should go straight to the college, but it is a thing. Kids get money back. And it's a blessing because they can buy, I've seen them buy cars with it and stuff like that. Yeah.
Mr. Mayor,
Mr.
I'm sorry. Oh,
Commissioner Kelly?
If I could ask my colleagues, y'all got more experience with that, mine still in, so I ain't got that challenge, that look at. To both of you, Vice Mayor and Commissioner Williams, when I look at it, what I was thinking of was just the time frames of when the application is due and when school starts that coming year and finding out that window so that we would know it would take staff internally this much. If it has to go to the state for approval, et cetera, what would be that time frame? Because like right now, we passed this, we're trying to catch students now who are going to graduate. So what's that time frame that they would need to submit, get it back to us so we could make sure whoever receives would hopefully get the check sent to their institution by the fall term? That's really the question I was asking. Anybody have an idea of
And
one, y'all have more experience on those kind of timelines?
Mr.
To the
Mayor.
mayor.
Commissioner.
So I'm going to tell you, and this happened last year with us, kind of came, hopefully we can get this going. But right now, seniors are done May 19th. May 19th is their end date. In terms of and that's a Dade County Public Schools thing. Seniors, May 19th, FYI, parents. At that moment, grades are closed. So now let's look at the calendar. If we're looking at the calendar, I actually turned away alumni scholarships because they're too late. They're absolutely too late right now to come into a high school and say, we want to give away $1,000. Now, what we have to do is then help them tweak their application so that they can give direct money. But what we're asking for, the reference letters, the letter from a school official, and that needs to be what is that? Who is a school official? In parentheses, what is that? A teacher, an administrator, counselor? We have to be specific with that because you can read so many things into that. But an official transcript, this is I can tell you right now that this is completely late. And it is going to be difficult. And that's probably why we don't get the traction we get from our seniors, because now it has to get into the schools. I can tell you the CAP advisors are inundated with graduation and everything else. So I don't know. I mean, we can try, but I can tell you, unless we're going to do a pivot on this scholarship right here, and do for this year, we're going to make it a little bit easier. And then moving forward, it's going to be this specific scholarship. But I think if we keep going where we are right now, we're not going to get the traction. And I'm going to be honest with you.
Yes, ma'am.
Commissioner Kelly?
Thank you. So what is your suggestion for this year to tweak it to get out? Because we've talked about it for years. We had one, we've got the money sitting there, we've allocated the money for this year. So what can we do to tweak it, to at least get it out? We got a PR firm, we got, folks, I'm quite sure all of us have ways of reaching some of our young people. So what would you consider offering that we could tweak it? I heard the May 19th date, but what else other than especially the reference letters, because I saw that, but I just kind of assumed it was a principal or teacher. But what else could we do to make it easier, at least to get those scholarships this year? And then we can always come back and amend it if necessary going forward. But I would hope we can do something. Commissioner Samad. Mayor, to my colleague, any suggestions?
The mayor, you're right. I would, and again, what I tell people that come now with scholarships, of course, have the essay, of course, the official transcript. Now, understanding that getting an official transcript and maybe an unofficial transcript, because what you need is the unweighted GPA on it. You need to see that part in order to know if it's a 2.57. So however, the reference letters is going to be tricky right now for students. Personally, what I would do is I would have the school choose the student, one or two students or who those students will be. I know it's unorthodox because that's not what we want. We want to be like real clear with our scholarship. But I'm just saying right now, unless we say we narrow it down to one letter, and a transcript and an essay, but we're gonna have to tweak the criteria for this year. That essay might be tricky too.
Mr. Mayor. Me personally, I would like to see a letter of acceptance from a college.
You gotta have that.
Right, but it's not on here.
Yes, it is. Provide evidence of acceptance to an accredited college.
Sorry. That along with one or two minor items, I think would suffice, a character letter, reference letter. And of course, the unweighted GPA documents. And I think, to make it simple, so we can move forward.
Okay, Madam Attorney, for the sake of time, can we accept this and say in the legislation that for the first year, we're going to only allow, you said one letter?
Yeah, so
One essay, one letter and the transcript, and then going forward after this year, then this will stand the way that the manager presented it tonight.
You
Can we do
can,
that?
you can.
Okay,
And maybe since going forward is adding that we would get the scholarships out in like December
Mhm.
to the schools.
Okay. So,
Can you repeat that, Vice Mayor?
Oh, I'm sorry. And going forward that the applications, we start accepting the applications in December. And then for however length of time we're going to use so that possibly by February, we've already chosen our student that we're going to accept.
Okay.
for the mayor. I'm
Commissioner
so sorry.
Williams.
I'm trying to take my high school hat off. The issue with the December to February is the grades won't be in yet. So you won't see those students, when you have the official transcript, you're not going to see their fourth 9 weeks in February. So you're not going to get, you're not going to see the unweighted 2.7. So basically in February, you're going to stop in the third 9 weeks now. So then we would have to go back and say that that's where we're going to end and not look at the last 9 weeks so that we can have it early. So I'm just saying February is too soon right now for seniors.
Okay, maybe not February, but definitely not May, because I know my daughter had all of her scholarships, her acceptance for her scholarships by April. She knew exactly how much money she was receiving because they had banquets for her to accept the scholarships. They didn't wait very late.
So that's what I'm saying. There has to be a change. So, okay, so this says an official transcript. The scholarships they ask for unofficial transcripts first. At the end, they wanted an official transcript. So in the beginning for the actual application, so here, and that's an easy fix. It says one official transcript, but depending on when we send it out, this can be an unofficial transcript. We just change that and that you must provide an official transcript when grades are traced in at the end of your coursework. So like I'm saying, they're just little tweaks to this, to the wording that we could do just to make sure that we can get it out in December. And because students know day one, if they're 2.75, most of them are clamoring to be 3.0 and higher, especially if they're going after a scholarship. So that's an easy fix, but definitely it can go out in December, but just change the wording, an unofficial transcript. But we would need the official transcript at the end of, let's say, that official transcript will be done. We generally finish about May.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Mr. Mayor, then hearing that, can we at least, as the vice mayor is saying, start putting it out in March, knowing that what Commissioner Williams is saying, you really can't do anything until April, et cetera, but at least can we put it out in, or
December,
at least put it out or get it out in March?
December,
Hmm,
December.
December.
we'll put it out in December?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, you just won't get it back in until
right,
Yeah.
March.
right. Well, you got some that are go-get-ems. They gonna have everything they need ready to come to you all when you start accepting them.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so. Madam Attorney, so a couple of things now. The timeline for advertising will be from December to, and it will close in March,
May.
May.
Mhm.
We will start advertising in
December.
December,
Mhm.
and we will accept applications up until
We can say April if you want.
April.
Yeah.
And then, okay. That would be the timeline. So
So
from
December to May.
December to May,
I'm sorry, December
December to
to April. Yes.
December to April. And then, from then the manager will take off for how they make the decision.
Do you still want the unofficial transcript language?
That's what I was just
included?
about to say.
Okay.
The language that she said about the unofficial transcript. So to be added on the policy, and then, so that's going forward. But for this year, it will go out as soon as it's passed. And for the first year, only for the first year, we would tweak it that we will only ask for one letter of recommendation, the transcript and the essay to be submitted immediately. Is that okay with everybody?
Yes.
If-
Wait, I think our educators are debating.
Y'all okay with that?
Yeah.
Okay. I know that was a lot, Madam Attorney.
Not really. So the timeline area would change, where you see timeline on the exhibit, and it will be different for next year. So we'll capture it and go back and listen on the tape. But basically, December through April is what you want the timeline to be for the year 2020, 2024, 2025, right? And then this year, you want the applications to go out immediately with the letter of recommendation, the transcript, and the essay.
Correct.
Okay.
All right.
May I ask a question, Mr. Mayor?
Mhm.
I know COVID put a stop on a lot of stuff, but this scholarship, I don't know who decides who gets what, but it used to go to the community service. I'm saying it wrong. The Park and Rec Board, that board, where, who did it last year? Does that still go to that board for decision making
Well,
or?
Whatever committee that the manager decides to do.
the recreation board, okay.
No, it's at the discretion of the manager, wherever he wants it to land.
Oh, it's in the legislation,
It is
for selection.
a selection committee.
Reviewed by the Scholarship Selection Committee consisting of members of the City of Opa-locka Community Relations Recreation Activity Advisory Board. All decisions of the committee will be final.
Well, there you go. There you go. All right, so do we need to vote on the amendment, Madam Attorney, and then we can vote on the item itself. All right, so can I get a motion?
Motion on the amendment.
Second,
Second. Madam Clerk, roll call on the amendment.
Vice Mayor Irvin,
Yes.
Commissioner Kelly,
yeah,
Commissioner Williams.
Yes.
Commissioner Baz.
Yes.
Mayor Taylor.
Yes,
Motion passes 5-0 on the
Okay.
amendment.
and then on the resolution itself. Can I get a motion
Move it.
and a second?
Second.
Yeah, just call the question.
Mr. Mayor, just one
sorry.
thing. On page 55, the flyer that was submitted as part of the package. To meet that 2-week timeline for this year, the date would change from May 26th, so it would actually be June 2nd.
Okay,
So the deadline for submissions for this year would be June 2nd.
so June 2nd. Okay,
It's fishing season. Just a quick question to Madam City Clerk. Is this the actual flyer that's gonna be dispersed?
That would be a question for the city manager.
I
He
think-
prepared the document.
Mr. Manager?
Manager.
I apologize, Madam Clerk. My understanding was that you worked with Roar Media to prepare this document. The flyer,
The flyer,
I'm sorry?
the brochure or the flyer?
the flyer.
Oh, the flyer, absolutely.
So
yeah, because it says class of 2023 and it has Ms. Walker's information. She wasn't even here last-
Oh, okay,
Um,
all right.
It's this year, it's this year.
Yes, my apologies. Yes, it's ready to go.
okay, I'm only asking because maybe it's there. I'm just not seeing it to make sure that it's multilingual, that it's in Haitian Creole and Spanish as well.
Absolutely. We shall get that done.
Okay, so. Yes, ma'am.
Commissioner Bass,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Irvin,
Yes.
Commissioner Kelly,
yes,
Commissioner Williams,
Yes.
Mayor Taylor.
Yes,
Motion passes 5-0.
all righty. As always, thank you for your patience. We'll see you tomorrow at our autism walk early in the morning and for our weekend of fun celebrating our 97-year of history. Can I get a motion to adjourn? Moved by Commissioner Kelly, second by Commissioner Bass. This meeting is adjourned.